The Cleveland Browns are facing a massive decision that could ruin our entire season if we get it wrong. We are officially in the middle of a high-stakes quarterback battle that nobody expected to be this intense so soon. Sanders is the name on everyone's lips right now as he goes head-to-head with Deshaun Watson for the starting job. This isn't just a simple practice rotation, because the risk of splitting the locker room is very real. If the coaching staff mishandles this young talent, we could lose everything we have built. It is a dangerous situation. Sanders is finally getting the fair chance he deserves under our new leadership. For a long time, it felt like the previous coaching staff didn't really believe in his potential or his unique way of learning the game. But things have changed quickly around here with Todd Monken taking over the reins of this offense. The atmosphere at minicamp is completely different than what we saw last year. This young quarterback is already speaking about a new energy and a vibe that makes him feel embraced as a person. It is clear that the relationship between the player and the coach is the top priority now. If this really happens, everything changes for us. Subscribe now so you don't miss the next update. We need to be careful because this competition with Deshaun Watson is going to be the biggest story of the summer. The Browns are trying to identify who gives them the best chance to win in the AFC North, and they are not handing the job to anyone based on their salary. During the first voluntary sessions, we saw a lot of movement and a lot of communication. But here's the real problem for the veterans on the roster. Monken has been very open about his desire to build personal bonds with every player on this roster. This is a massive shift from the way Kevin Stefanski operated last season. Back then, it seemed like the rookie was kept on the shelf on purpose, even when the team was struggling to find consistency at the quarterback position. Now everything changes because the second-year man is taking more responsibility and holding his teammates accountable in a way we haven't seen before. He is leaning on the veterans and spending a lot of time in the head coach's office to master the new concepts. The team is rotating reps between both quarterbacks in 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 drills to see who truly leads the huddle. This is not just a backup role anymore. It is a fight for the future of the franchise. What happens next could shock everyone as these two talented players push each other every single day on the field. The fans are divided, the front office is watching closely, and the stakes could not be higher for a team that is desperate to finally win big. We need to watch how this bond grows because it will determine the success of our entire organization for years to come. Sanders has always been a polarizing figure in the locker room, but we are finally seeing the real version of him. Last season was incredibly difficult for the young passer because he felt like he was being held back by a system that didn't fit his style. We saw flashes of greatness when he was forced into action, but the disconnect with the previous head coach was hard to ignore. It is no secret that he felt like he wasn't being heard or understood by the old regime. But now, he is talking about how the new coaching staff is actually speaking life into him. This is a powerful phrase that shows just how much the mental side of the game matters for a young athlete. We've seen the flashes of greatness, but this new problem is exactly why the front office is sweating right now. They know they have a diamond in the rough, but they also have a massive investment in a veteran starter. And this is where things get dangerous for the quarterback room. The tension comes from the fact that this young man knows exactly how he learns and what he needs to succeed. He isn't interested in being forced into a box that doesn't work for his brain. The current coaches are leaning into his style and communicating in ways that make sense to him. This is a huge contrast to the questions we heard last year about his ability to grasp a complex playbook. It was often suggested that other players were further ahead in their understanding of the schemes, which kept him on the sidelines. Now everything changes as he is the one leading the charge and showing up early to get extra work in with the staff. He wants to leave the past behind and focus on this new campaign where he feels supported and pushed. The gap between his raw talent and his actual results on the field is finally starting to close. However, the pressure is mounting because every mistake he makes will be compared to the veteran across from him. This young quarterback is no longer just a project. He is a legitimate threat to take over the starting role. He is embracing the challenge of the AFC North and the pressure of a city that is tired of waiting for a winner. We are watching a young man grow up right before our eyes, and the consequences of this growth will be felt by everyone in the organization. This quarterback battle is about much more than just who takes the first snap in September. It is about the soul of the team and whether we can finally find some stability at the most important position in sports. If this works out, this could help them win more games and finally become a real threat in the playoffs. But if the competition creates a divide in the locker room, we could be looking at another wasted season. Having a young player like this pushing a veteran is usually a good thing, but it can also be very dangerous. The Browns have a history of quarterback drama, and we simply cannot afford to let that happen again. We need a clear leader who can command the respect of the entire huddle without any doubt. The players are already starting to take more responsibility for each other, which is a great sign of growth. They are holding each other accountable and focusing on their individual jobs to make the team better. Now everything changes with this new energy that is exactly what we needed after the frustration of the past few years. However, the decision on who starts will affect every single player on the roster. The offensive line needs to know who is behind them, and the wide receivers need to build timing with just one guy. We are at a crossroads where the wrong choice could set the franchise back for a long time. Fans should be very worried right now about how this will play out because there is no room for error. We've seen what happens when this team lacks a clear direction at quarterback. It leads to losses, coaching changes, and a lot of unhappy people in the stands. This is why the relationship between the head coach and his young passer is so critical to our success. But here's the real problem for the front office. They are building something new, and it has to be strong enough to survive the pressure of the regular season. If they can get this right, the sky is the limit for this group. But if they get it wrong, we will be right back where we started, searching for answers in the dark. This is the ultimate test for the new regime, and we are all waiting to see if they can pass it. The stakes are truly that high for us. Let's look at what could happen as this competition heats up over the next few months. In the best-case scenario, this young quarterback continues to grow and proves that he is the future of the team. He wins the job fair and square, and the veteran handles it with class and helps him lead. If this happens, we could see an explosive offense that finally lives up to its potential on paper. The new energy would carry us through the tough games in the division, and we could finally win the AFC North. But here is the real problem that keeps people up at night. What if the competition is too close to call and neither player clearly pulls ahead? That is when things get dangerous for the coaching staff and the locker room. If we start the season with a rotating door at quarterback, we are asking for trouble. The worst-case scenario is a total collapse of chemistry where players start picking sides between the young star and the veteran. We've seen this happen in other cities, and it always ends in disaster for everyone involved. What happens next could shock everyone if the coaching staff decides to move in a direction no one expects. If the veteran struggles early, the calls for the second-year man will be deafening in the stadium. This creates a massive amount of pressure that can break even the strongest players. But wait until you hear this. The schedule doesn't give us any time to figure things out slowly. We have to be ready to go from day one, or we will be out of the playoff race before it even begins. If this works, it will be the smartest move the front office has ever made. But if it fails, it could blow up in our face and lead to another complete rebuild of the coaching staff. I'm telling you, this is dangerous territory for a team that is trying to win now. We are walking a very thin line between a brilliant future and a very familiar past. The tension at practice is going to be high every single day as every throw is scrutinized by the media and the coaches. One mistake could change the entire depth chart in an instant. This is the reality of the NFL, and the Browns are right in the middle of the storm. To wrap it all up, the Cleveland Browns are entering a new era with a massive question mark at quarterback. Shedder Sanders is bringing a fresh energy and a new vibe to a team that desperately needed a spark. His relationship with Todd Monken seems to be the foundation of this entire new philosophy. But we can't ignore the fact that Deshaun Watson is still in the building and fighting for his spot. This is a high-stakes game of chess that will define the next several years of Browns football. Be honest, would you trust a rookie in this situation? I want to hear what you think in the comments below because this decision affects all of us. If you want to stay updated on every single move this team makes during this intense battle, you need to subscribe and turn on those notifications right now. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're ready for some winning football in Cleveland. This isn't just a move for today. It's a decision that will define this team for years. We are all in this together, so let's see where this road leads us.